What up, Forgotten? How you doing? What up, machine? How you been? Welcome back. You guys get your StarCraft in already? Alright, have a good flight. Fly safe. I'll catch you up. It's a long trip? I'm getting my StarCraft going? Alright. Ain't no problem, Forgotten. Yeah. And get to your flight on time. Most of the day, yeah, it's a long one. Well, hopefully you have a good time over where you're going. That shit's strong. Woo. Eye watering. I forgot to send my drone right away. I've been doing Weird Arcade StarCraft 2 as well, messing with custom mods to add 30 new races for StarCraft. Oh, okay, yeah, I heard about something like that. More races. I've only seen like 4 of them or something. Got him. It's called the ultimate mode of Eris Reloaded. That's the mod. I'll see if I can save it in my bookmark. I don't know if I could save in the bookmark. I know in the maps I could, but never get the other ones too. It's like yeah, a lot of races, huh? Yeah, I gotta see. Do you like most of the races that they put in there? Oh, VW races. Well, you guys. I mean, you guys can. I can cast your games if you guys face each other. Anybody that faces each other in my channel. It's like a little help of incentive to get some StarCraft on, you know. Gotta make a hatchery sometime between this. Dirty cheese. I want to try it with people who want to play it casually. Yeah, then yeah, it promote the matchup in the channel. See if anybody wants to play at times. And like I said, I'll cast the games if it's in-house face-off. So whatever mods you guys want to face each other on. There's several mods. Could be a 2v2, you know. I'm not gonna try it right now. That's why I said you guys could try it. I'm playing StarCraft right now. This is incentive for people to play StarCraft. I'm already playing StarCraft. Alright, let's see. We're gonna go straight to his base, block it. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you don't want to face a certain matchup. There's a lot of reasons. MMR is not everything. Sometimes your time is more important than your MMR. And you don't always want to play certain matchups all the time, so you know, it depends on if a person really values MMR or not. But at the end, you should be having fun. Make the lanes first.
Under attack. The Hive cluster is under attack.
Oh, he found it.
Under attack.
internet.
Bases are under attack.
No, just give me a second. I have to restart right now. Let's see. Not sure. The OBS. OBS went down for a little bit. How did I cheat? Do you know how I cheated? He's like, where'd that hatchery come? Where's the spine crawler come from? Oh man. Let's see, my internet took a dump real quick, so let me see if everything's still there. Let me see if that worked. No, I'm on vacay. This is my last week for vacay. After this week, I have to work, yeah, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. No, I'm on vacay this week. This is my last week. Yeah, I hear you. Those damn ads. Yeah. Well. So he spotted this one. Maybe I should have just make it. Oh, there's a spine crawler there. You gotta think about that next time. Spine crawler could be over here, so I'll make my spine up here. Yeah, my internet's been tripping. Hold on. Kicked me out, or did it? No. Yeah, I almost beat it last night. So tonight we should be able to beat it. At least chapter 3. Although I'm not like the biggest fan on the puzzle games in general, like when they try to make the puzzles too hard. I'm not the biggest fan of those because, you know, if I wanted to go into a puzzle game, I would jump into a puzzle game. But, you know, horror game, you know, I don't know who put that meta where you know, you gotta have puzzles with the horror. Can't just have a good horror. Yeah, I have to see. I have to check. With Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is probably a game we have to check, see if the frames, if it gets hot, or Red Dead Redemption. Since we're doing Red Dead Redemption, that one might be a good one to check, because that one hits the computer hard because of the graphics. Probably some Red Dead. What up, Anders? How are you doing? What kind of setup you have right now? I have a 10 gen i9 processor and a 3080 Ti graphics card with a godlike motherboard and like a water cooled fan NZXT, a 3-fan NZXT with the Lian Li 2 case, 875 watt. With some really good fans from Corsair. Some really cool cooling fans. They're rated really well in regards to cooling, not looks, not lights, but performance. AMD, yeah, I was thinking of AMD. I just didn't know too much about AMD compared to Intel. I just know back in the days, Intel processors wouldn't like burn up and overheat when they heated up, where AMD back in the days, you know, that did. And so I felt like Intel was a bit more ahead of its time in the overheating department, because I knew I was gonna like stress my computer with the games and things that I'm gonna do. So I want to make sure, for whatever reason, I get the one that has the longest track record of, heat tolerant processor. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I know AMD's gone a long way. I'm just saying that I went for the longest track record just to be safe, you know? Yeah, back then, I know, that's what I said. But because Intel was already better at that back then, I would assume that the progress they both made, Intel has grown a lot more, big brother, you know? So to play it safe for me, in regards to long-term stress, heat, you know, just long-term, not just, you know, one night of stressful, but long-term, I felt like I'll give it Intel. I'll feel more safe with Intel, me personally, because everything I did here on my rig is literally for heat tolerance. You know, the godlike motherboard was for, you know, regulating the heat. The cooler, the air cooler, the fans, everything I was the case was all for heat. Try to look for the best ventilated case that's, you know, good for, you know, what I'm doing. Fast airflow for the fans. Yeah. I just wanted to play it safe. Some Flowcraft. Airflow. Put some my shit. I'll put this right next to the AC if I could. I'm like, put it right next to the AC. Just blast that bad boy. Well, I have all my ducting is in the back. There's a back layer on the case. There's a back layer on the case that all the wires go to, and they stay contained in a very small, like, sandwiched side of the computer. So because it's a case covered, there's no airflow interruption or minimal airflow interruption for the, you know, for the cooling. Yeah. Cold metal condensates moisture. Oh, damn it. I'll put a humidifier and the AC. Yeah. That would no. No. I'll just does take opening the case while the computer's on, does that help the airflow, or does that disrupt the vacuum airflow for the computer? How does that work in regards to computer performance? That's the only thing, is just the dusty? Because I keep my shit clean. I got myself one of these, a brush. My computer is always clean. I clean it like three times a year, and then like two times real good. Like I did a real good cleaning, was it like a month ago or like a couple weeks ago. But I do it regularly. Like my stuff, the case is clear. It's got a glass case, so I could see if it's dirty. But that thing is so clean that even when I think about it, and I'm like, oh, I gotta clean the computer. I gotta clean it. It's been a little while. You know, I open it up and it's like I can barely even find any dust. Even on the wings of the fans, hardly any dust. And I'm like all tripping, like, oh, it's probably caked up. So I do a pretty good job keeping it clean. But then again, this computer is expensive, so I, you know, damn well need to. Yeah, they're safe, and I don't even use them for everything. Like I said, I have a brush and I have a computer cleaner. Most of it I do with the fine brush, with the nylon brush. I just kind of just agitate it. Most of it is forensics brushed. You know what I mean? If we get down and dirty, we take our time, you know.
The hive cluster
super late on this. Dun, dun.
Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack. The hive cluster is under attack. Unacceptable. Our forces are under attack. We must get unacceptable. We must place that on creep. Unacceptable command. The hive cluster is under attack. Unacceptable command. The hive cluster is under attack.
Oh shit.
We must place that on creep. We must place that on creep.
No, not. I gotta do it quicker.
Unacceptable command. The hive cluster is under attack. Mineral field depleted. The hive cluster is under attack.
Oh, it's here already.
Field depleted.
GG. Yeah, I didn't do it fast enough. I gotta get up his ramp quick. Man, I wish I still had my AoE buddy. I enjoyed playing AoE back in the day. 40-minute no rush. What the way is that shit? Is that what people are doing these days in AoE? Most games in StarCraft don't even go 40 minutes. Well, depends if you want to make it go 40 minutes. It depends on, you know, most build orders aren't 40-minute like turtle games that are common, because you got to rank up. How do you rank up fast enough if you play 40 minutes every game, you know?
The Hive cluster is under attack. The Hive cluster is under attack.
Am I on a different hotkey?
Metamorphosis complete.
Yeah. I'm like, why are my songs of horror? I'm like, everything that I'm doing, I can't. I'm like confused. So everything I did was not done. Oof.
Mineral field depleted. A creep tumor is under attack. Mineral field depleted. Unacceptable command. Unacceptable command. Our forces are under attack. A creep tumor is under attack. A creep tumor is under attack. Mineral field depleted. Our forces are under attack. Mineral field.
Oh, I never got the mutas.
Our forces are under attack. Mineral field depleted. Depleted. Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack. Unacceptable command.
Let's get that creep.
Mineral field depleted.
Go in there with Big Daddy.
Mineral
Let's see what we
field
got.
depleted.
Let's go.
Metamorphosis. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Vespene geyser exhausted.
It's ogre. Oof. The camera, the hatchery camera move. Oh, I call that the roundhouse kick. So it's a roundhouse inject. I invented it. Let's see. Well, I don't know about it. I reinvented it or invented it, but I came up with it when I was working on my mechanics. I'll show you what it is. Let's see here. Let me go to the replay and I could always, let's see, set it up. Set options. Observer. Default. Now I can go in there and then I can go back into my units. I'll get to the part where I think I could use it. War Thunder airplanes is mostly fun game mode, except when you get the fighter generation crossing over. M2. Oh, you get airplanes? Not airplanes? Okay. Get some more queens. After this hatcheries come up, I'll control. Okay. So start game as flow. And then we start right here. Let's take all that stuff away. Okay. Where are you at? Alright. So there's a hotkey. There's a hotkey. It's on the options. Hotkeys. Global. Believe it's control groups. No. Unit management. Unit management. Let's see. I think it's been. No, it's not unit management. Is it? Or is it, I think it might be unit management, but not control. I think it is unit management. Let's see. Idle worker, jump to the last alert. Next subgroup. Okay, right here. All right. Yeah. Is it next subgroup? It's been such a while. Let's see. My key is right here. Oh no, it's // // Oh, this is control groups. Oh, here it goes. It's under camera. So when you go to under camera, it's called base camera. So there's a key right there. It's called base camera. What that does, and I have it as I have it as / only because it's I have all my hotkeys used up, all my other keys, and this is like something I'm using for my mouse. So because I have a mouse with keys, my / is number 6, so I just hit number 6 instead of /. So that's to move from base to base. Now my 5 key is my hotkey for queens. So this 5 right here is for queens, and this one's for base switching. So what I do is I I click both of them. I hold them both at the same time with my key, like with my thumb. With my thumb, I push both of them at the same time. One, I believe that I do the queen first, technically, and then the roundhouse kick, roundhouse inject. But the base camera key is very important for this. So you have your base camera, and what that does is whenever you use that base camera, it goes to the next. Every time I click it, it goes to the next hatchery. You see? So it goes to the next hatchery every time. So if it goes to the next one, if I hold it, it does this. It cycles through all of them. Looks like it's a roundhouse. Looks like it's doing like spins, but it's just cycling through all the hatcheries. So what happens when you have your queens hotkeyed, right? And you do this, and then you hit the inject. You hold shift. What was it? Well, I don't even have. I have it rapid fired. So, but yeah, you hold shift, and you do this. You see that? So what happens is, instead of it just on one hatchery forever, it goes through, each one of them goes to one after the other, and what it does is it balances the larva to all the hatcheries and all the energy that you're using, because now you get all of them, and there's not like one with like 20 injects. The other ones are no injects. They're all 3 larvas, you know. And so, you know, whenever I don't need to worry about the queens and I'm gonna go attack, I'll do a roundhouse inject, and depending on how many spins I do is how many cycles I'm doing, you know, how many I want. If I have a little bit of time, I'll do about 4 cycles, you know, and then I'll start doing whatever I need to do. I'll come back, there's a bunch of larvae for me, you know, and there's a lot of injects. You can only get 4 max, technically. If you inject the hatchery 4 times and not use the larva, you maximize the larva count. So you don't want to max out 1 hatchery or 2 hatcheries when you have multiple hatcheries. You want to make sure all of them have the maximum potential, which is 4 injects each if you're not using the larva. So at least you get your larva counts, you know, that you need, at least the maximum amount. But if you're doing roundhouse injects, eventually they come back and they redo another inject, and what happens is, you know, you can use up your army a lot quicker because, you know, you'll have more injects. See, while I'm over at fighting or figuring out what to do, she's over there putting in her work. Look, you know, she got things to do. She gotta go over here, over here, over here, over here. You know, look at her go.
Mineral field depleted.
Yeah, so that's what I do. I called it a roundhouse inject. It's really good for, you know, when I don't want to do. Well, I have both. I have single inject queens, and then, you know, roundhouse injects. So I'll give you an idea with my mouse what I do and what I'm trying to work on. You know, whenever I say I'm working on stuff, you know, I'll give you like an idea. Let's see. Oh wait, give me a second. Let me cancel that. Cancel that one right there. I accidentally clicked it. All right, so just to give you an idea
Mineral field depleted.
of how I you know, how I StarCraft Zerg, at least decisions. So I have this mouse, and this is my roundhouse. This is my queen, and this is my roundhouse, right? So that's my roundhouse injects. But I also have 3 hatcheries usually in the beginning of the game, and while I have 3 hatcheries, I could do it individually, and then late game the roundhouse inject. But each one of these is a hatchery. So what I do is this is hatchery 1, hatchery 2, hatchery 3. Your third, your first, your main, your natural, your third. Excuse me. What I do is I hotkey the queen and the and the hatchery together. So if I have the queen and the hatchery together, I just have to double click one and I get to the hatchery that I need to, and the queen is already highlighted. So all I gotta do is just quickly inject. So I just gotta double tap 1 and then hit the inject on the queen. Double tap 2, hit the inject. Double tap 3, hit the inject on the queen. So that's how you do it for the injects, and then you have the roundhouse for later. And then when it comes to the bottom keys, this one is your pool key. This is my upgrade key, like if it's a roach warren or a pool, at least in the beginning of the game. And then it turns into a creep tumor hotkey. So this becomes a creep tumor hotkey, and then this becomes a queen mid queen hotkey for creep. So this one's for creep for the mid, and this is for the right of the creep. So I have a queen on the right, I have a queen in the middle, and I have creep tumor on the right, on the left. And so I'll have hotkey. I'll keep changing the creep tumor hotkey every time I do a creep tumor, so I could double tap and get over there. And I have the middle queen for double tap and inject creep tumor, and I have the right one for double tap creep tumor. And I just double tap and get there, double tap, get there, double tap, get there, double tap, inject, double tap, inject, double tap, inject. And then you got the army. And then I have another, the F2. I use the F2 for the army. So I double tap F2 and I get to my army. Double tap 2, get to my army. Now I need to go creep tumor. Double tap creep tumor, I get to that creep tumor. Double tap queen, I get to it, creep tumor. Double tap creep tumor. Double tap inject, double tap inject, double tap inject. Double tap F2, I get back to my army. So that's the movement. And then I have the queens that are for the 1, 2, 3. I have all of those on 5. So I separate the queens, but then I have them all together on 5 so that I can attack together if I need to. But if not, then I separate them back to what they need to do, because I have them mapped out to a role. So they all have a role. And so with that, I'm able to like multitask way faster, get to places way quicker, inject, creep tumor, all that stuff way quicker, you know. So that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm, you know, when it comes to mechanics, it's, you know, you'll see me creep tumor more because I'm trying to focus more on it, but I've been already working on some of these things, you know, as time went. But, you know, as I'm getting better, it's easier for me to just start putting more attention to it. But yeah, so that's what that is. Remembering to do it is a big thing, yeah. And that's where, when you go to the gym, my friend always said, form over weight. You want to make sure that you do form over a heavy weight and you're just not formed up. Because your muscle memory, you want to make sure you have a good muscle memory on how to do a good form, so that as you get stronger, you're doing it right. Instead of doing it poorly, doing it wrong, you're injuring your back, you don't even know it, but you're doing it, but it's not beneficial to you overall. And that's where you have to have good form. So instead of like winning all the time, trying to win all the time, we all want to win, but we also lose. Everybody loses. So instead of focusing that energy there, you focus your energy on the form instead of the improper form with overweight, you know, just to win. I want to win, so I get all imbalanced. I don't mind winning and losing. I'd rather get good form, and then now that you have good form, your muscle memory is good, and you get, you know, better, you know, progress in your ladder. So yeah, and that's the reason why I don't care about MMR. It's like, I don't consider myself good enough where my ego should just say I'm so good that, you know, I'm this or that or that and start barking. Roar, 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 hear me roar. No, I'm still like learning. So why would I need to open up my mouth if I'm like learning? I'm gonna get, you know, humbled really quick because I know I have flaws. I know I'm not good at a lot of things. So until I'm confident, then why would I want to bark? You know? There's no time for barking right now. That leads to ego. That leads to, you know, just all the wrong mental, you know, thoughts. You see, never forget that your mouse hand has a full-time job in the aiming, moving the cursor around, clicking, while the other hand is really only the pressing keys. I use both. So like I said, I restructured all my hotkeys. So my left hand does all the building structures and units, and my right hand does all the mechanics, the locations, the movements. So since your mouse is moving, right? My mouse is moving. I move my mouse to get to places. A lot of my keys on the left are to move. Instead of moving my mouse wheel from here to here, I just hit a button and I'm already here, like a teleport in StarCraft. So they're teleporters for my hand. They're teleporters. I don't have to have my mouse go over there. I just click it and my gateways are selected, so I don't need to scroll over to my base. I just have to, with my left hand, make the unit now. So my hand with the keys are teleporters, so I'm teleporting without being there, without moving my mouse. Imagine how many times you don't have to move your mouse because your hotkey, your teleports are there. You know? So I felt like my right hand would be teleporting and movements, and my left hand would be building, you know, and engagements, hotkey spells, movement, attacking, patrolling, and all that good stuff. Building a gateway, building a robo, building, you know, units. On the right side, getting to places, moving around, you know. So, and I play the piano. So when I play the piano, I already know that two hands are better than one because you have a better rhythm. You got more harmony when you have two hands playing at the same time. It's more harmonized. And so if you're playing StarCraft and you're harmonizing compared to somebody that's not, and they're using one hand when they're playing the piano, you know, you can see the difference if you play the piano. Or even if you don't, one hand playing the piano versus two hands, do you think that's going to sound the same? I don't think so. And then the other thing is, why would you want to stress your left hand to do all the stuff that needs to be done and then just use your right hand for movement? You're going to injure your hand faster. You're going to wear it out faster because you're using, you know, you're using too many rolls for this hand, not enough rolls for this hand. So how do you balance it? So this is how I balance it. I balance, you know, with the MMO mouse so that I can give my right hand more rolls than just movements. This one has to do all kinds of stuff. You know, it has to stretch here, do this, you know, do this, that, you know, all the little keys that you have to touch it. Okay, I got to get the control and shift and F2. You know, and then you got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're like, oh, I gotta go to 8, 9, 10, A, B, B, C, B. You know, it's like, why do you want to do those gymnastics with one hand when you can give your hand a little break and get only like a centralized zone so they don't have to move around everywhere, and let your right hand do the other? You know what I mean? You see where I'm coming from? You smell what I'm cooking? Do you feel what I'm putting down? It could give you different abilities. Yes, it could. And that's what I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to reach that different ability that I can get that others can't because they're not harmonizing. So that's why I practice my mechanics. That's why I'm practicing, and I'm not worried about my winning and losing. Why do I worry about my winning when I'm getting better on my mechanics and my speed and my harmony? I know I'm getting better on my harmony, so when that time comes where I'm good at it, you better watch out. You better watch out. Yeah, the piano. Well, just the understanding of two hands in a piano versus one hand is huge. If you play piano and you know about chords and melody, you're playing chords and melody at the same time, it just makes music sound so good. But if you're only playing the melody, or if you're only carrying the bass, there's things missing there that could, optimize your play. So same thing in StarCraft. If I'm just playing the melody, because I'm not using, all the keys that I could, in multiple ways, in combinations, then I'm not, I'm lacking. There's potential. So that's why I combo like with the mouse. That's why I said I combo like with this mouse. I just hit my thumb on both of these keys and I do the roundhouse inject. I do the roundhouse injects just by holding with my thumb 2 buttons at the same time. Who can't do that? Who can't hit 2 buttons at the same time? They're small buttons. My whole thumb almost fits 2 buttons worth of space, so I just click both of them at the same time. So much easier, But if I did it on the left hand, I would have to find the key that I, would not be using normally, so that I can use that as a bass key, and then hit that key with the queen key, and that's gonna be a weird posture because now I'm gonna have to hit a weird key that I normally don't use on top of a number key. But in this case I just have to hit 2 buttons right close to each other because I programmed them to be next to each other, and boop, roundhouse inject real quick, boom, double click, double click, double click, so little insight on my mechanics. Hopefully it helps you guys, or at least gives you some ideas. So you're saying missing injects is the Zerg's equivalent of skipping leg day? yeah Injects and creep tumors. You're not doing leg day. Not working on your leg day. I haven't been working on my leg day because I've been working on my chest and back, but every now and again I gotta work on my leg day. So sometimes you give yourself like a little bit of like, hey, today I'm gonna focus on this. You don't always have to have a focus point, but sometimes you go, okay, I haven't done this in a while, I gotta work on this part. So win or lose, let's work on putting more mind focus on these particular things, characteristics of my play. So you gotta work on leg day. But I'm working on leg day, but I'm making sure my form is good, if you know what I mean. My form is good. I know that the hotkeys I've used, I don't have to use the mouse that much. So with that form, once I get it good, it's gonna be really good. It's gonna have good posture, good form, and I'm gonna be able to lift weights, heavy weights. And then as my muscles grow properly, Super is gonna be a devastating opponent. And then we can move up to Masters and GM. But why would you want to get to Masters without learning the core, mechanics? I mean, you could, but like the way I play, I'd rather have more variety of tools, but I need to know how to drive the car. I need to know how to make sure that the car is fast and has good turns. So I have to make sure I design the car properly, my vehicle. Which one is coming right up? I'm right here. Cheers. Ready to go. Yeah. That's just my Zerg hockey layout. I had to design my Terran hockey layout, and I had to design my Protoss hockey layout in all that stuff. That was that took time. Trying to figure out how you want to do things, which keys and all that. But you know what helped me? Playing other games. Other games helped me click these buttons a lot more than I did in StarCraft. It was hard for me to like think about which keys I feel comfortable in pushing, and eventually I started playing other games, had different keys for those. I started using those a lot, and then my brain just started saying, hey, I'm comfortable hitting that key a lot. I played StarCraft, boom, started clicking a lot better. I'm like, oh damn, I could use that key a lot better. I actually use it more. Before I was like, which key do I not push all the time? That one, I gotta work on that one. A lot of grinding on that. Like in the beginning of the game, I would try to find things for the meantime, like the Overlord. Do I get an Overlord hockey on it? And the answer is yes, technically. Like you want to get an Overlord hockey and then replace it when the proper the proper unit that you usually use the key for, that's a primary. This is a secondary, but since there's no primary, you use it as a secondary hockey. That way I can go over here and, move it around, or I'll know where I'm going. So this one's going to have a hockey. This one's going to have a hockey for the meantime. Until I replace it with the Queen Injects and the Cream Tumor. The pool has to have a hockey. So I would say this will be a good hockey setup. And then...
Under attack. Metamorphosis complete.
Okay, these two. Not enough. Should inject more if I'm gonna go Bailings.
Our drones are under attack.
Yeah. Not very good opener. We'll do the queen. The double queen opener. What up, Crow Cop? How you doing? What? Fat Yakel? For you? Alright, I'll do one right now. Let's go. Sorry, I had to drink some water.
Our drones are under attack. The Hive cluster is under attack. The Hive cluster is under attack. Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack. Our drones are under attack. Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack.
So close. GG. So we should just make the links from the start over there up top right. Or maybe after. I definitely need more drones if I'm gonna make spine. So I'll probably have to wait on the links and then make more. Maybe I'll do that from the start instead of like the spine crawler particular part. Yeah, it's supposed to be a sneak. So I block his base, he gets aggressive, he tries to kill me, I try to act like I'm on one base, and then I have a run by on the other side that comes in, kills his workers while he's over on my side of the map. And then I'm supposed to just hurt him there, you know, just supposed to hurt his economy right there while he's like, oh shit, I gotta go back home. Yeah, I'm trying to still work on that one. How do I want to do it? You hurt your back? Yeah, you gotta be careful. Zerg at the gym, gotta inject every rep. Karuru. That's how you get good. That Mike Tyson meme. Oh, I hurt my back. It's spinal. Something like that, right? think he's trying to say it's spinal. Like it's spine related. Yeah, especially since he lifts a lot. He lifts weight and stuff, so you know, if you overdo it, you definitely can injure yourself. Yeah, he's funny, Mike Tyson. You broke your record vinyl. Shoot. I haven't used one of those in forever. I personally never had one, but relatives. Well, actually I did as a kid, but it wasn't mine. My parents, they had an old school system when I was I don't know, like 5. Had a vinyl record set up at the top. And after that, everything became cassettes, you know? Started becoming more cassettes. Yeah. I remember we used to carry those CD players to listen to music. Yeah, it's gonna be Marauders.
My life for Iron. Justice.
Marauder tank, probably.
My life for Iron.
Some Linkin Park. But yeah. Yeah, I used to have the cassette players too. I used to have a little mini recorder. I would record whenever I go to the movies, I would record the movies. Oh, look at this.
My life for Ire. Research complete. My life for Ire.
Right at my doorstep.
My life for base is under attack. Research complete. We embrace the glory of battle. My life for Ire.
You require my skill. I am here in the shadows.
Ayo.
I am the voice of the... We are... I am the...
Command me. My life for Ire.
Cold. You require... I am cold. I am here in the shadows. I am... State thy bidding. We let our enemy know our furies. Intrigue. I go. State thy bidding. You require. We are one with the shadows. I am the...
My life for Ire.
I am here in the shadows. Go. I am here in the shadows.
We embrace the glory of battle. My life for Ire. My life for Ire. Mineral field.
I am here in the shadows. I am the voice of the... We... I am here in the shadows.
My life for Ire. Ula Sadan.
I am here.
Command me. We embrace the glory of battle. Mineral field depleted. My life. Research complete. My life for Ire.
Very wide. I am here in the shadows. You state the code.
Custome de Templum.
Very well. I serve for now. We move unseen. Intriguing. I am the heart of darkness. There are clues. It should be as you say. Reckoning. Very well. We are one. I am here in the shadows.
Research complete. Olak.
Alright, let's go.
I am here in the shadows.
Thus I
I have
serve.
to go top.
I am here in the shadows.
We up. We see.
I am here in the shadows.
Thy charge. We embrace the glory of battle.
I am here in the shadows. You require my skills.
Our heart weeps, we thy charge. Our heart stand against the night. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
Don't mess with the storms.
Mineral field depleted.
Lives? Yeah, you gotta have some stalkers with you. Little blink. Yeah, but definitely needed a little more stalkers. I just knew he was going aggressive. When I scouted him, he was double gas, and he showed an immortal. He had a tech lab, so I knew he wanted it, and he had a factory. So tech lab didn't mean too much other than you might go Marauder play, but or stem or some type of, but the factory's here. So since the factory's there next to the tech lab, he wants to make tanks or cyclones, or cyclone then tank. Usually a cyclone tank so that they could chase, but I know what he wants to do. He wants to be aggressive. Double gas. Marauder. You don't really get Marauders unless you're going to move forward early. You don't get Marauders unless you're going to push. So I know he's going to push eventually. And it's going to be soon because we got double gases. If it was one gas, then it could be a little bit later. But because it's double gas, it's sooner than later. Switch. And I have a limited time to, for one, take a base and mine some. But overall, don't, the Twilight Council. We need the charge. Charge lots better. We could go blink, but sometimes blink isn't the best answer because of Marauders. You never know what's gonna happen. But with charge lots, you got tanks and Marauders. Charge lots are good against those two. And against the Marines if they get submarines. So he's coming really early. I sent the probe out just to see when he's coming, because I know he's coming soon, but I gotta confirm. I was gonna keep my probe over here, wait for him to move out. Yeah. So now I got my charge kicking in. I know he's gonna do some type of siege because he's gonna get the tank in. Tank means that you're gonna siege. But the Liberator, I'm like, oh damn, man, the Liberator. Yeah, the charge kind of helped me run in and get everything before the Lib killed everything. And then a Protoss player, you know, you take a third. You could take a third if you're going charge lots. Not a lot of gas. I'm just going 2 gases early on with charge lots, so the third is more, you know, reasonable to take because you could afford it. When you go tech, heavy tech early, then it's questionable because you want to make sure at least the army that you have is going to deal with whatever pressure the Terran's going to give you. But since the pressure already came, then the pressure's done, we take a base right away. And then don't forget, they like to get the tower right here. They like to mine here and then, you know, take the tower. So if you don't check and you're just running around, you're going to get snitched on, you know. So be careful with the vision here. Right, siege down here to take the third. I was killing as much SCVs, so I was keeping my stalkers outside of range of the Hellions. And one way I do that is whenever I move, I hold position. Move, hold position. Move, hold position. I don't move and attack, move and attack, move and attack. The reason why you hold position is because you want these stalkers to only attack the range units. You know what I mean? Think of it as a, you know, you got your little range circle. Whatever that is, you know, whatever that aggression circle is that each stalker has. You want to make sure that when you hold position, the stalkers are only able to hit anything that's in this area, in this zone. That's all they can hit. They can't hit anything outside that. If you hit attack without hold position, because these units are attacking and these aren't, they're going to draw themselves over to this side. And they're going to not attack the SCVs. And they're going to be not so, you know, effective. So to keep them from being drawn to these while these are attacking so these can move forward, you don't hit attack, you hit hold. And every time you hold, you want to make sure that this circle does not contain any of these units. I want to make sure none of these units are in this circle, because then that way the stalkers can hit as maximum amount of SCV damage as possible. So hold position is very important here. I blink away so I can get out of the range of the circle. Remember, keep my circle outside of the range of the unit, so I blinked and in hold position. Then focus fire. They will auto engage and you'll run forward instead of attack, and you'll waste your time running. That walking towards the enemy, waste your DPS potential. That's shots that you could have done, but instead your units moved. Yeah, the Terran's done. I think he overdid it with the libs and the aggression. He thought he was gonna get more from it. But the other thing is the Terran. I mean, you think it's fair, right? You see 3 base right here, Protoss, and you see 3 base Terran. You're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Not necessarily, because in the early stage, Protoss can get more units, more aggressive units, and a 3rd base before a Terran. A Terran doesn't have the luxury of getting that 3rd base conveniently. And if you do, you're risking because you're having a very small army count. So your army count's not that good to hold the 3rd very comfortably unless you're like hunkering down. But he went for an early aggression, which slowed him down. If he didn't go for the early aggression and went for the greedy 3rd, it'd make it more reasonable. But because he went for the aggression, and now he's trying to get that 3rd while the Protoss is trying to get the 3rd, you don't have that much. You're cutting yourself short on your army. And I don't know what the Hellions, I don't know, he wanted to go Hellbats and counter the charge lots. So this is going to be like okay, he's going charge lots, I'm going to go Hellbat, Blue Flame Hellbats, or Blue Flame, and then I'll roast the charge lots, which makes sense, it's good. And that's why, and he had a lot of resources. He just, one thing about it, when it comes to StarCraft and Terran, you got to make sure you make your base spaceable for like multiple buildings. Like, he has a lot of money, but sometimes you feel cramped. And when you feel cramped, I mean, you tend to, like in this case, this player probably has a tendency of not using the bottom part of the map. He uses the top part more. He probably forgets about the bottom part. It's probably not convenient for his, like, placing certain buildings here. It probably doesn't. But you got to make sure you're organized, because you might have a lot of money, but then if you feel like you can't build anywhere here, and you can't build out here now because you can't get out there, or you feel it's not safe to build out here, you're gonna be floating a lot. So it's a good habit as a Terran player to build down here as well. Don't be afraid to build here. Don't be afraid to make supply depots down here. Don't be afraid to make factories, a couple factories right here. You need to make sure you're able to like stretch your arms around. Don't feel like you're like, contained too much, especially as a Terran player. And so that tends to happen with players tend to be, a bit, like, oh, I don't have the space. So build your setup conveniently to your, like these starports, they could be over here. Starports could be in the back. Then more factories can fit here. That turret needs to be somewhere in the corner so that you could build here and here if you could, or build, a couple here. You got to think about it. Each map has a way where you have to figure out, how do I want to build my base? Sometimes you could just take one, like what I did before. What I used to do is I would take one game, computer, didn't matter, and I would literally go, okay, how do I want to build my base? And so I would think about it, and I'll be like, I'll put my pylon here, my gateways here. I'll look at it and I'll be like, okay, this needs to change. I'll put this here, and then once I got it, once I figured it out, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Snapshot. I took a snapshot of it. And in my head, I kept looking at it on my PowerPoint. Every once in a while, I'll look at it to remember how I had it, how I like it. And so I always know where things belong. And it helps me be more efficient on producing, my buildings, when you know where things belong, because something's missing there, and you're like, oh, that's missing. It's missing that, this is where this home is. It's not there. Boom. You remember because you're more organized. So it's something to think about. But yeah, that's why people float a lot of times too, is they feel they're cramped. Especially Terran. Terran has tech labs, and you got to get the tech lab into a reactor. If like, where am I gonna lift this and where am I gonna put the reactor? My barracks or my factory is gonna be further out. It's gonna clog the area. You know, how am I gonna do this? So usually what I do is I make enough room for the tech lab, and what I do is when I need a reactor, I'll lift up the factory just one square in front of the tech lab and make the reactor in front of the tech lab. I'll make sure I have that gap to do the switch, and then I don't, sometimes you don't need the tech lab. You just float and then get the reactor, right in front of the tech lab. No fuss, no muss. You can't build enough 200 supply in 10 minutes without enough buildings, right? It's but so you have to make sure hey, on 2 base, on 3 base, I should have around this much buildings because I'm floating this much and I could use this much. You're gonna have to balance yourself, but definitely make sure you could still be comfortable building a little outside your base, just a little bit. Think of the whole map as your base, but be conservative. It'll help you breathe a little bit, like with my nexuses at the 3rd, sometimes I'll put my pylons and cannons and then gateways in front of it, all in front. I don't have to cram all the gateways in my main base. Barracks is just a bunker that floats. Yeah, right? The spoon. There is no spoon. Cheers. Oh, let's get another. Watching Ketrock every so often to see his base setup. Can tuck buildings into one space above reactor tech lab. Yeah, exactly, digital. So some people master their craft on positioning setups and take advantage of learning from them and kind of going, okay, that's pretty cool. I need to learn that. Ketrock's very particular in his playstyle. So just like me, everything has to have a reason, and it's through trial and error. We kind of go, oh, we're running into a problem. How do we solve it? So we have to find weird ways around things, and he's one of those that definitely has the patience to go in and break it apart and see how it works. It's really good to have players like that. I think more StarCraft player needs to have that as a role model, because those kind of role models need to be more popular than the standard, do this build every time and you win and get MMR and you're a good player because of it and you get all the kudos. It's I don't know. I think the RTS community needs to be a little bit more creative, but they have to be inspired to be, and not led the wrong path to always play stiff, because it's just gonna make the community a lot more tougher and stronger mentally, When I hear 20-minute no rush, 10-minute no rush, I'm like, oh my god, where is this place coming to? I'm supposed to fight. His Raven style was very good before they nerfed it. I know, it sucks that they nerf stuff like that. It's like, why nerf stuff like that? I want to play against Raven play. You guys are you guys are eliminating things that I like to play against too. Even though I don't always play Terran and play Ravens, I sure want to face it now and then. I want to face those things. It makes the game colorful. I don't have to win every game. Maybe I'll learn something and I'll figure out how to beat it. But man, the top players are boring the game down because they want more structure. They get to tell you what OP is and what is not OP. But they're biased. I don't know where to draw the line. StarCraft 1. Thermo took over BCQ doing that. Thermo's good too. We need more of that. We need more creative, inspiration. It's really good for the StarCraft, games are much more enjoyable when the game when the game hits the fan and nobody knows what's going on and we have to figure it out. We want that excitement. We don't need structure, but the pros, they want structure because of victories, of course, which makes sense. So it's just, we need to separate professional and amateur, because amateurs trying to be professional, but then they're, you got to be boring and standard, and that stagnates the game. And then people think when you cheese it's bad. We play so stiff that the moment you get creative, you're a bad person. You play bad. I don't like this game. This is, everybody does, that doesn't like cheese makes other people easily agree to it and say, hey, this is why I don't like StarCraft, because this cheese is running amok and it's making the game bad. This is not how you play the game. It messes with the community's head on what the game is about. They get pampered into this stiff play, but slowly the cheese is getting accepted. That's the good thing. Slowly the cheese with Uthermo, BCQD, all these players, and myself that do weird crazy plays, Pig promoting all the crazy stuff, it really helps the community kind of get a little crazy. Winter, with his Bronze League heroes and all that, So I'm glad that's, that we have that. Definitely need more of it. But in the beginning of the game, the beginning of StarCraft 2 and 3, it was very stiff. They come after you if you were a cheeser back then. You gotta run into the woods and hide. That's him, get him! So it's like UFC fighter make a macro player fight a micro fight. They go into deep water, then drown. Exactly. I go for that jiu-jitsu. They go for the run around the ring. I go for that jiu-jitsu and wear them out. Get all up in their space. Make them feel uncomfortable. And I work on my ground and pound. I work on my grappling. I work on my my special moves, rear naked choke, the Kimura, all that good stuff. So you want to be a well-rounded fighter in StarCraft. You want to do leg day as a bodybuilder. A win is a win, but not all wins are created equal. Remember that. I rather have wins that are really fun and exciting. I don't want to win that I don't feel like I even did anything. That was I got the win. Woohoo! And the game wasn't that good. I got the win. So not all wins are created equal. I'm going for those fun, exciting wins. I'm not going for that boring win. It's like, what's that gonna do to me? Yeah, I got wins, I get points, MMR. What's that gonna do? I'm not excited. I can't go to my friends and be like, oh shit, you should have seen this game. I did this, I did that. Check out the replay. Sick. I can't do that with boring wins. So, I feel like wins are wins, but there are grades of wins, and it's up to you to choose what kind of wins do you want, what kind of victories do you want. You want the boring ones, the safe ones, or do you want the exciting ones, the risky ones?
This is your last chance. After this,
I normally did anything I could do to beat some players.
take the blue pill.
That's what we do
Story
until we get better, and then we gotta let go of the handlebars. Let go of the training wheels,
Red pill.
and start riding the bike a little bit, without the training wheels eventually. But it's good to learn some structure. I feel like though is that we eventually have to let go of the training wheels. Let's take them off. Take the training wheels off and get a little risky. It's good for you. I play more Total War than StarCraft, and TW games, it's possible to win in ways that fuck you over hours later. It is. It is. You don't forget those games, that's for sure. Medieval 2 was my favorite. It's risky. They're risky. They're risky. You could lose the game. But I'd rather risk and feel that excitement than to always feel safe and not feel like stressed or excited or, you know, not feeling that human feeling. I just feel like I'm comfortable and safe. It's in StarCraft, I don't want to do that. In the world, it's reasonable, makes sense, but even then, sometimes it's good to risk take. But you know, in StarCraft, you don't have to worry about it. You know, you lose, you get back up. Nothing really happened other than something you learned something. I would turn my end of the map into a base with the grip of cannons. Those are, you know, do some fun stuff. That's going to teach you stuff. Eventually, later in the game, you're going to learn in some game that's going to help you. That experience that you're doing that is going to help you. You lost to my strat? You played me? Well, I'm glad you didn't say nothing. I mean, I'm saying after, in the game, during the game. I leave during games when people talk, so it's good. Yeah. Okay. He was confused as hell. Check this out. So he comes over here, makes a pylon. Let's see. Goes for a gateway. And he saw the pylon at the front and he saw the probe moving in. You see that? That's on purpose. When he moves in, seeing the pylon and the probe, you need a player's gonna come in and get information. So this gives you information that there's a possible nexus first, but you can't tell too much because there's nothing there. But if you're moving up the ramp and you see a probe moving down the ramp going towards the base that to build, that gives misinformation to my opponent. He's gonna think that hey, he wants to take a base. That makes sense why he has a pylon and no gateways. You get me? Because I should have a gateway. Why don't I have a gateway? I need to answer that. I need to explain myself. Why don't you have a gateway? Where's your gateway? Let me see. Let me see what you got. Oh, okay. You want to take that base, huh? No, you can't take that base. So this is a very common thing in the ladder, in the pro scene, is the base steal. You know, the base steal. Although not too many people are crazy enough to do a nexus first, but there are some people that can be crazy enough to do a nexus first. It's gonna keep them from being a base steal, but you know, that's what makes it interesting, is that the pylon's here. Looks like a nexus. A fast expand. You want to be greedy, huh? No, I'm not gonna let you. And that gives him enough information to feel like his guard is down. Okay, cool. It's gonna be a macro, but I stopped him. Let me get my gateway, get my scythes. I'll get my 2 adepts. He'll be slow. He'll be behind. I'll put the pylon. Now I'll scout. You know, let me see what he's gonna decide to do. Is he gonna get his gas now? Nah, I gotta get my gas because I actually was focused over there too much. Should have got my gas. He doesn't have his gas. Cool. I'm ahead of the, head of the game. Let me cancel my pylon to be conservative, and go back down there. And then all of a sudden, now he knows there's a cannon rush. Now it's too late. By the time he's conservative, now he's thinking, oh shit, what's going on? Oh, there's a cannon. What the hell? Where's the forge? Where's the forge at? What the hell? Let's kill this pylon. Let's get our, oh shit, our zealot. We didn't rally it. He died right through the front. Son of a gun. Kill that pylon. Okay, now we're losing mining time, of course. Let's go mine. But our gateways are getting attacked. The pylon got taken out. Yeah, let's cancel. I don't have enough time. Let me get my unit, see if I can get a stalker out. He's saying if I kill this pylon, he might not have any power on the cannons that I can get the stalker out, but I put a pylon up already. And then the gateway came out before the stalker. Yeah, so that's how this build works. Very dirty. It's a dirty cannon rush. It throws them off a little bit because misinformation, and then your forge is right here, your pylon's right here, hidden at the third. That way, if they go over here accidentally, they don't see it over here. You don't want to do it. It's risky over here. If you hide your forge and pylon in the back, they could accidentally have a patrol over here, and they forget to click on it, and it gets over here, and then they see it. They're like, oh, what the hell? Or they come over here as a cannon rusher. When they cannon rush, they'll could have put a pylon right here, and then they'll see it. What is he doing? But if they're cannon rushers at the same time, this lets me know that they're cannon rushing. That's the beauty of this build. It's a layered build. The pylon right here is for cannon rushers. Whenever somebody tries to come in and hide and pylon here and cannon, and I stop them, and then they try to make a pylon and cannon here, well, they can't. The other probe can't make a pylon and hide a cannon here while the other one's here, so they could do a containment because the pylon's here, But I also know when the second probe comes out, I'm like, oh, the second probe's over here now. Oh, okay. So this is my scouter for cannon rush, and also my counter to a macro player. Yeah. So now you guys know. So when you see me do it, you know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. But I gotta eat now, so I'll come back for some StarCraft in about, I would say, maybe in about 1 hour, maybe. But if my friends want to play some finals, then we're gonna do that first, and then some StarCraft. But definitely more StarCraft to come. All right. Let me see who's here. I appreciate you guys here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream and learned something. Thanks, Fat Yokel. We got FXA Darty, the Big Armor. We got Eshwar, Revu. Let me read some of your comments before I leave. Well, I was cursing on that thread on how do I beat that, but playing mirrors against randoms is hard, to be honest. Well, okay, yeah. It should be an honor if you lose friends. Yeah, well, yeah, I put a lot of work in, so don't be like, don't feel bad. I there's a lot of hours I put into it. If you don't put as much as I do, there's a little bit of imbalance on the knowledge part. It helps me out. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Soul Steel. Alright, let me raid Soul Steel. Alright, I'll see you guys in about 40 minutes. Possibly. If you know, I'll be on in that time, but I don't know. StarCraft maybe, finals maybe. Hey, thanks Jay Apollinero. Nice tip, Flo. I remember when I get D2 with Cannon Rush only. Or when I got to Diamond 2 with Cannon Rush. You can do it. And it's fun. There's different ways to do it, so get creative. You can get there at the same, you know, just like everybody else. But you'll do it in a more fun way. But stressful. Definitely stressful. Any replays from viewers? Yeah, you could put it on YouTube. I could do some replays tonight. Catch some replays. If you, when I come back, if I'm not doing finals, we can start with replays. Oh, you mean on me? My replays? No, you just go on YouTube. So I have YouTube. Go into my YouTube and you can go to my VODs. You know, my VODs will be there. Just go right here where it says live. Go into the live section right here. And you get all the, you know, the streams that I have. You know, they can fast forward and stuff. Get to the parts that you like. But yeah, that's a, just go into the live. Okay. Okay. Did I get it?